My name is Paula Zimmerman, but my stage name and my psychic name is Taylor, Paula Taylor. So I am a psychic. I've been for almost 50 years, and I'm also a psychic medium. So my story is I received an act of kindness because I do events, I read for events. And this particular, it was a Sunday, I was reading in northern New Jersey. I live in New York and I don't have a car, so I rely on public transportation. And so the woman very nicely drove me to the railroad station, and then I found out it was in December around the holidays. There was a big delay for the train. So the next train was not going to come for 2.5 hours. And there was no indoor station or seats or anything. So I'm like, oh, now what am I going to do? I can't call her, tell her I'm stranded here. So I just said a prayer. I'm a Buddhist. I chant the Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. And I just started walking and chanting and walking and chanting. And it was one main street in the town, and everything was closed. Everything was closed. I'm like, okay, whatever. So about 5 blocks up, I see this light, and it's a restaurant, and they had Christmas lights outside. So amazingly, it was open. I went in, and there was this really nice Japanese woman, and I said, "Are you open?" She said, "Well, we're getting ready to close, but you could come in and have a meal." So I ordered a meal, and then she was very nice. She was just conversating with me. So I told her, what happened, that I was kind of stranded. She said, "Oh, you could stay here. You could just stay here until your train, near where your train comes." And I was just so grateful to her because I didn't know what I would, standing outside for 2 hours, I would have gotten hypothermia. It was really cold out. So I paid for my meal, and then they gave me a gift, a Christmas gift, which I have here. It's like a little mug. It says Ginger Sushi, the name of the restaurant. And I stayed, until I was able to, walk to the train and got my train home. So that was an amazing story of kindness. She was so nice to me.
Love that. Nothing like a cold day when you're commuting and buses and trains are late. So that was so kind of them. Ugh, so
And
kind.
I have another story, if I have the time, about also commuting. I was doing an event, and I was waiting for the train, and lo and behold, I was on the wrong side, not going to New York, but going way out to Long Island. So I saw the train go by, and then they said what the gate, track was, and I was like, uh-oh, I'm on the wrong. And then next train was 5 a.m. So I'm like, holy shit. It was in the summer, at least. I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it was deserted. Looked like a dangerous place. So there's another train coming. So I walked to the other side, and I took the train out east. And, I called the woman, actually, from where I had come. And I told her what happened. She said, "Oh, we're going to come get you." So I said, "Well, I'm getting on the train going the other way because that's the only train, right?" And then when I got off the train, there was a guy who was very sick. He was in a wheelchair, and he said, there was nobody around. He said, "I'm having a diabetic attack, diabetes attack." So I called 911 for him because he looked like he was going to pass out. So then she came, and she said, "Oh, we called the police." No, the police came. We called the police to make sure you were safe. And then she came, and then she drove me to her home. The 911 came. I saw the ambulance picked him up. And so I gave at the same time, I felt. And she let me stay over in her house and drove me to the train the next morning. So I've had 2 experiences like that. It's just amazing. I feel like sometimes I have help from the other side because I'm a psychic and a medium. So maybe like the angels are like activating for me. I don't know, but sort of,
Someone's looking out for you for sure. It's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. So kind. I love that. Uh, gives us hope. You know, there's still good people out there, plenty of good people out there, and this is proof of it. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Would you like to share a website or a book or any
uh,
anything?
I don't have a website right now, but I could give you my on Instagram, Paula Taylor, Taylor, psychic, Psychic. Also on Facebook, same thing. And I have a email, which is Paula Taylor Psychic at gmail.com. So I'm open to private readings. I'm open for medium readings or parties. I really enjoy
Wow.
doing parties.
Wow. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much for sharing that and sharing your story with us. And thank you. I really do appreciate it. And I'm just grateful to hear these stories. And feel free to stick around if you like. But thank you very much again for joining us, Taylor.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right.